And Samantha, do you take this man whose hands you now hold to be your husband, to live together in the holy covenant of marriage? And do you promise to love him, comfort him, honor and keep him in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, be faithful to him so long as you both shall live?
I do.
And Jonathan, I'm going to ask you to repeat after me, if you will. I, Jonathan Holdorf.
I, Jonathan Holdorf.
Take you, Samantha, to be my wedded wife.
Take you, Samantha, to be my wedded wife.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
In richer or in poor.
In richer or in poor.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness or in health.
To love and to cherish.
To love and to cherish.
Till death do us part.
To death do us part.
According to God's holy ordinance.
According to God's holy ordinance.
I give you my love.
I give you my love.
And now, Samantha, will you, as you have come as a bride adored for her husband, will you repeat after me, please? I, Samantha Siefker.
I, Samantha Siefker.
Take you, Jonathan Holdorf.
Take you, Jonathan Holdorf.
To be my wedded husband.
To be my wedded husband.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
To have and to hold from this day forward.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
For richer or for poor.
For richer or for poor.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
To love and to cherish.
To love and to cherish.
Till death do us part.
Till death do us part.
According to God's holy ordinance.
According to God's holy ordinance.
I give you my love.
I give you my love.
And so in the freshness of the garden, God, the mighty Creator, saw man in his loneliness. And loneliness was the first thing that he said that was not good. And so finding no suitable companion for him amongst the beasts of the field or the fowl of the air, he determined to make a helpmate for him. And so God made woman from the rib of Adam's side and presented her to him to be his wife. She was not taken from his feet that he should tread upon her, nor from her head that one should rule over the other. But from his side near to his heart, that they should walk together in love. For she is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, he said. And therefore we are told that a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall be one flesh. And as we think about the one flesh for just a few moments, it brings to mind what love is all about. For it is more than living in the same house or putting your feet under the same table. It is more than sharing the same blanket or eating last night's leftovers or laughing at each other's corny jokes. It is feeling the same hurt and pain of and for each other, rejoicing in your victories, sharing the same goals, and loving and serving the same God. I think that sometimes we do not emphasize this point strongly enough. I know that you have thought about and want what is best for your family and for your wife and for your husband and for your children. I challenge you to love and I challenge them to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your mind. I challenge you to love Him enough to read His Word daily, to pray daily, to keep yourself strong in His love, and to raise your children up in such a love for Jesus Christ that they will have a love continually. I desire, a great desire to have the benefits and the joys of serving Him now, but the joys of heaven later on. And so help us to realize that having faith in Jesus Christ is far more than saying, I believe, that it is believing in His Word enough to do something about it. It is, as Joshua of old said, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. You know, I've been around this couple for several years, but for recently, I've been around them in study for several hours, in preparation by study of being in each other's presence, or by CD, or however it might be throughout the space of the miles, and personally sharing with them in this preparation for their marriage. I have enjoyed being with them and watching them grow in their love and appreciation for each other, and I could see their love growing for each other, and in their mind they would say, certainly, I am certainly fortunate to have you in my life. When they first came to me and we talked about what was going to have to take place, and we sat and we talked about it for a while, and I told them that we would be doing some premarital counseling for several weeks, and with an astonishing look and a big gulp, they said, well, okay, if that's what it takes. I reminded them that we are not just planning a wedding, but we are planning a marriage that will last a lifetime. And as the weeks of study went by, they began to see and say, well, I see what you are talking about now. You see, we had a great time, and I always look forward to sharing and being with these two people. During our sessions, I asked them to write down why they wanted to marry this person, and what it was that caused them to desire to marry in the very beginning. Why is she, Samantha, Mrs. Wright, and why is Jonathan, Mr. Wright? And here's just a few things that they shared. Jonathan shared, well, you know, she's fun to be with. She's always kind and caring and unselfish. She is stubborn, hardworking, and always thinks of others first. When she is with me, it always makes me feel better. She always has a plan. I don't. I thought that was one of the neatest things that Jonathan said. But she is always thinking about what she can do to improve her life. When everything is over and done with, and he said, I always have a deep pull to be with her in quiet times or in fun. I can't or will I ever want to escape the love that I have for this woman of my dreams. But on the other hand, Samantha, she shares, he respects the person that I am. He loves me when I am in my lowest. He knows when to cheer me up and when to be my rock. He honors my wishes. He leads me to the Lord and not away from Him. He understands that the Lord comes first and above all. He holds me accountable. He makes me laugh when I can't seem to bear the world anymore. He works hard to achieve His goals and to provide for our future. He gives me a new perspective on life and opens my eyes for new possibilities. He has always been a dependable person in my life. He is my best friend. Now, these two, they asked me, Stan, could I share some personal vows or promises to each, they want to share this with each other, and I have no idea what they're going to say. But Jonathan's going to go first.
I'm not good enough to memorize it. Okay. Samantha, I vow to make your evening full of love and as much laughter as possible. I vow to make sure you can breathe whenever I'm tickling you. I vow to hold you tight whenever you are happy or sad. I vow that if we are fighting, that at the end we will still be in each other's arms. I vow to take time to be crazy with you at your crazy times. I vow to try putting you first so I may also have oneness with you. I vow to try to remember to unroll my socks and work shirts for the wash. And I vow to make sure my love and my need for you is shown and said every day. She doesn't have pockets.
Mine's not that long, but
I'll try anyway. I vow to love you to the end of your life and until the end of time. I vow to support you in all your dreams and endeavors. I vow to make your health and happiness my first priority. I vow to give you my very best, even when I have my grumpy face. I'm yours forever. You are my world. Love you.
Well, thank you, and let's give them a big hand.
Show 'em some skin.
Jonathan, I'm going to get real serious with you now, okay?
Yes, sir.
But I want you to realize that God has placed in your hand a very precious gem. And whether you like it or not, it now becomes your responsibility to see that her walk with Jesus Christ is secure. Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her." Jonathan, I want to remind you that it is not hard to die for someone you love. But it is hard to sacrifice your life for them. And that is what Jesus is asking and talking about here. Your wife and your family must above all see Jesus Christ in you. If you want your marriage to be really happy, then you must be willing to make sacrifices in your own life in order that her spiritual life may grow. Now, Samantha, I'm not going to let you off the hook either, okay? But it's not that long either, okay? But I want you to know that God has given you the responsibility to walk by his side, rearing your children in the love of the Lord Jesus Christ. And all I can say is do your best. It is important for them to realize that if they want joy, real joy, the joy that God created you for and intended for you to have, then you must always be faithful and obedient to his word. So you see that whenever you become husband and wife, it is a lifetime commitment, and God has given you a lifetime to do it in. So for both of you, and also for those of whom are gathered here and sharing in this worship service, if there is ever a time in your relationship whenever you are drifting away from each other, then maybe it is because one or both of you are drifting away from God and consequently away from each other. And so, because of this, we now come to show a visible expression of that responsibility to see that her walk with Jesus Christ is secure. That walk becomes first and foremost the greatest responsibility that you have. And so because of this, we shall now show that visible acceptance of that responsibility by the acceptance of the promise by lighting of the Faith and Family candle. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your testimony the way you have at this time. From this time onward, may your thoughts be for each other rather than for your individual lives. And may your plans be mutual and your joys and your sorrows shared. And as each of you take a candle and together you light the center candle, you will then extinguish your own candle, thus having the center candle represent the union of two lives into one flesh. And as this center candle cannot be divided, let not your lives be divided, but instead be the united testimony of a Christian home as Christ gives you light.